Hello and welcome to your Club Everton Daily. The date is Friday, the 27th of January 2012. And no, I'm not going to be quoting Rebecca Black in the intro. I'm Gray and I'm back. A bit later than advertised, but sadly that's how things work. Things pop up that you're not expecting and it kind of takes away from your time. But I just want to thank you for your patience, and I want to thank everyone who left me good luck messages ahead of my exams, which was the initial reason why the dailies went on hiatus. So big thanks to those of you who left me messages, but enough gushing, we've got work to do here. Alright, so what's coming up? We're going to have a look at the news. We're going to have a look at the latest transfer gossip, because there is still a bit of silly season left, and in our article of interest we're going to have an in-depth look at what the hell's going on at Portsmouth. Right, well anyway, enough of that, let's get on with the news. We've not got much time, so let's move on. Okay, so first piece is bosses to test duo apparently. Still got the massive injury list ahead of tonight's game, FA Cup tie, against Fulham. However, Seal Van Dissen and Jack Rodwell both face late fitness tests, so they might be in with a shot. Might be a long shot, but they're in with a shot at making the squad tonight. They were missing from the side that drew with Blackburn at home last weekend, and they faced late tests on hamstring injuries before the boss names his side. So it'll be interesting to see who makes that lineup there. Another interesting piece on the lineup is that Tony Hibbert is back fit, and rumour has it that he's going to be in the squad in place of Shane Duffy. We want your opinions on that, because it's going to cause a lot of controversy on the board, I can tell. Alright, the next one, Moyes on Billy Letinov. Yes, the protracted move that does will never ever end, or it'll conveniently end the night of the transfer window, knowing our experience with transfers. But David Moyes paid tribute to Billy's professionalism as the Russian nears the Goodison Park exit. 26-year-old is back in his home city for a medical after the Blues agreed an undisclosed fee with Spartak Moscow. The completion of the move will bring Billy Letinov's 2.5-year stay at Goodison Road to an end. In that time he's made 77 appearances, 48 starts, 29 as a sub, and he scored 9 goals. Moyes said he was a great boy to work with and a really good professional. When he played, he was totally committed and he did everything he could to succeed. We wish him well, it just didn't quite work out, and obviously we decided to sell. Again, some people might think it's a shame that he's leaving, other people think it's a waste of space. Again, your opinion, we want it, you know where to give it. All the links are in the description. Finally, Mark Lawrenson, a decade on, and David Moyes is almost back where he began with Everton FC. That's according to the Daily Post, the Liverpool Daily Post. Certainly the Everton manager would be forgiven for thinking he's in the same situation now as when he took over. I don't think the team's too dissimilar, and in terms of having to ensure survival in the Premier League with not much money to spend, Moyes isn't a million miles from where he came in. It's almost as though he's had to start again. After 10 years he's back to point A. The same problems, same issues, although the seasons have gone by and Moyes has helped engender great improvements. The last 18 months have seen Everton go backwards. I don't think they'll be relegated this season, but at present you can't see them finishing in the top half, and that's not good enough. But that's what Everton are at the moment, mid-table, mediocre, average, and I'm getting angrier and angrier as I'm reading through this. And that's me saying that, not Mark Lawrenson. It's more the same against Blackburn last Saturday. Everyone seems to have done their homework on Everton and Goodison, and a lot of teams have weathered the early 20-minute charge, and Everton didn't score in that time, and they quickly looked bereft of ideas. Who's going to unlock the door? There aren't too many in the team who can come up with something out of nothing. Not scoring enough goals. Tried everyone out wide. Missing Seamus Coleman. Stays really well and spreads teams out, making the pitch bigger. But they aren't maximising the width of the pitch. Everton's huff and puff and like to pound away at central defenders, but by doing so they limit their options. If you want to read the full article, it's on the Daily Post Sports section. I can't go into too much detail because, as I said, we've got a time limit that we've got to adhere to. Alright, so that's it for the news. And we'll move on to the transfer gossip again. As ever, the sources, we all quote them and then we'll tell the story. The Mirror report that Chelsea believe they can beat Inter Milan to Manchester United's 18-year-old midfielder Paul Pogba, who will soon be out of contract and has rejected a new deal with a bid of around £3 million. Oh, if only we had that type of money to spend. Footy Bunker reports that Red Shirt Magic Kenny Dalglish is plotting a move to bring Napoli's Uruguayan striker Edinson Cavani to Anfield before the end of the transfer window. Another Uruguayan, a playmate for Suarez. The Racist reports that Tottenham are holding transfer talks with Sao Paulo about Brazilian under-20 defender Bruno Uvini. The Mirror reports that West Brom want Russia playmaker Pavel Pogrebnyak on loan from Stuttgart with a view to a permanent move. Well, the manager Martin Jol is looking to bolster his midfield with a move for 25-year-old Colombian Carlos Sanchez from French side Valenciennes. That's from Talkshite. Talkshite also reported that Chelsea have not given up on their attempts to sign Ajax's Gregory van der Wiel. The Racist reports that Andy Johnson has attracted attention from Russian club Rubin Kazan and Turkish side Galatasaray. If he was homesick on Merseyside, I shudder to think what he's going to be like abroad. Sunderland Echo reports that Sunderland are considering offering Bolton's 34-year-old striker Kevin Davies a permanent deal in order to clinch his move to the Stadium of Light. The Racist reports that rivals Newcastle have made an improved offer for Watford defender Adrian Mariappa after a £2 million bid was rejected. Sports Illustrated reports that Wayne Rooney's 21-year-old brother John has left the New York Red Bulls to sign for Orlando City, who are coached, I believe, by Adrian Heath. David Moyes' search for a striker to revive Everton's season has led to an inquiry about taking 27-year-old Guilherme Hararu on loan from Paris Saint-Germain, according to The Guardian. Swiss international right-back Scott Sutter is closing in on a move from Young Boys off Bern to Blackburn Rovers, according to the Lancashire Telegraph. In other gossip, The Star reports that Red Shirt captain Stephen Gerrard has pleaded for calm ahead of their FA Cup match with Man United at Anfield. It's going to be explosive, that's no doubt. The Mirror reports that Dirk Kuyt says that knocking Man United out of the League Cup, after knocking Man City out of the League Cup, Man United are next on their Anfield hit list. The Times reports that Liverpool will be bolstered by the news that Man United's Wayne Rooney could miss their FA Cup clash with an ankle injury. The Times reports that Martin Atkinson will definitely miss the game after pulling out because of an illness. Sam was 11 months since Atkinson took charge of a Man United game after he was fiercely criticised by Sir Alex Ferguson following United's 2-1 defeat by Chelsea. The Cunt Rag reports that QPR defender Anton Ferdinand will spend £30,000 on extra security ahead of his sad highly charged FA Cup match against Chelsea on Saturday. Star reports that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Arsenal, has played himself into Fabio Capello's England squad, according to a source close to the Italian. Nedim Onahoa says that Mark Hughes' factor convinced him to seal his switch from Man City to QPR, according to the Metro. The Express reports that Real Madrid will look to prize Arsene Wenger away from Arsenal if the side continues to lose to Barcelona. Yeah, because Arsene Wenger's going to help with that. The Cunt Rag reports that Blackburn defender Chris Samba said he cannot give 100% for the club if he's forced to stay, and has hit out at the club's owners Venky's, claiming they were not honest with him. And finally, there's two of them, don't know why. One dude, President Paul Kagame, says it's time for Arsene Wenger to step down as Arsenal manager. Politicians getting involved in football. And the Metro reports that Bayern Munich scored a spectacular PR own goal with their fans following a failed media stunt when supporters thought they'd signed a big name forward, only to announce the release of a new app. Imagine if we'd have done that, it'd have been absolute fucking murder. Right, well, anyway, we'll finish off with our article of interest. Pay up, Pompey, pay up. What the hell's going on at Fratton Park? This is written by Nabil Hassan for BBC Sport. The words of Guy Thomas, a leading insolvency lawyer and football finance expert. This is as bad as it can get for Portsmouth without the club ceasing to exist. It sums up the grave situation that Portsmouth now find themselves in after being issued a winding up petition by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs over unpaid tax on Tuesday. It was just another sorry episode in the club's recent troubled history, once again putting their place in English football in doubt. BBC Sport talks to Thomas, who analyses the implications of Pompey's latest transfer disaster. So first of all, what is a winding up petition transfer? The answer, a winding up petition is when you have a creditor of a company, in this case a football club, they have a liquidated debt, and the tax authority will have a liquidated debt, and that is an undisputed debt. All it has to be is over £750, and this debt is far in excess of that. They put in a petition to the High Court, and once that is issued, the company then has 7 working days to respond. After that time, the petition gets advertised. It's at this point when the petition becomes public knowledge. This is when the banks get involved and start freezing bank accounts for their own protection and the protection of the creditors. Then there will be a hearing. At the hearing, the court will decide the company needs to be wound up. If so, the company comes to an end and a liquidator gets appointed. It stops trading and the liquidator gets appointed to assign its assets to the creditors and then decides on the validity of the claims. Question 2. What are the implications for Portsmouth? From this winding up petition there are only a few possible outcomes. First is that with a secure creditor with a debenture registered at the company's house, that debenture holder can appoint an administrator. If the administrator is appointed, then the winding up petition is suspended. The administrator then takes control, much like before when Hacker Young got appointed last time. The other option is that if an administrator does not get appointed, the company gets wound up. The only other thing that could happen is if the taxman gets paid. It's policy that once they've issued the winding up petition, they want paid in full before the hearing, because as far as they're concerned, they will negotiate. And once they've made the decision to issue the petition, the time for negotiation has really passed. They usually demand to get paid in full to the company, and in this case the football club get wound up. Number 3. How does this affect Pompey's search for a new owner? Well, it affects the timetable. It means that everything needs to happen quickly. If Portpin Limited are going to appoint an administrator, they have to do so as soon as possible. Assuming the administrator gets appointed, much as Hacker Young did last time, then you have to trade the business and find a buyer. It does not change things from where they were before. The winding up petition got issued, they were looking for a buyer, and they're still looking for a buyer now, whereas before CSI were looking to sell their assets. Now the administrator is looking to sell it. If one is appointed, it will be very rare for a buyer to come in and buy a company facing the winding up petition without making sure that the petition is being dealt with. Question 4. Are Portsmouth close to going into administration? Well, from here on out, Portsmouth either go into administration, or they get sold, or they get wound up. Number 5. Is this worse than before? They've been in some pretty bad situations over the past couple of years, especially when they first got placed into administration and the CVA got challenged by the taxman. When they were looking for a buyer, they got challenged. When all these things were happening, it threatened the existence of the club. This is as bad as it can get for the club without the club ceasing to exist. Number 6. Why does this keep happening to Pompey? Well, they're obviously in trouble financially. They never quite got out of the hole that they were in. They've not been helped by a revolving door of new owners from the past years. The problems have never really gone away. There are a lot of people owed a lot of money by the club, even after the company voluntary agreement exit for the last administration. It's as bad as before. Excuse me. Question 7, I think. Why would anyone buy Portsmouth now? They are a performing championship club. They have form of playing in the top flight before and have a very loyal fan base, and that means cash income for the owners. There's still the parachute payments coming down for the Premier League because they were only relegated in 2010. And there's still good reasons to be in the football business as well as bad ones. It's like any business, there's potential there. As long as someone sees that potential, they will remain interested. I'm sure that there are people interested in buying Portsmouth. It's just a question of whether they can do it quickly enough. The ultimate question, could Pompey cease to exist? Yes. As a trading playing club, when the winding up petition is heard, if they don't have an answer for that, they could cease to exist. If the secure creditor doesn't step in, and that's Portman Limited, before the hearing, then when the liquidation hammer comes down, it ceases to trade. You can't have a trading liquidated company. And finally, will they have to sell their best players? Well, I can see that situation happening, but only in the framework of a wider solution. Yes, it will get them part of the way, but it won't completely clear away all the issues they are facing. There needs to be a plan in place. New investments and old debt got rid of before this can be a healthy and successful club. Just selling the players on its own is not a magic wand that can fix all of this. Portpin Limited still have a big say in all of this. They're the ones looking for a buyer effectively. Alright, so that is the rundown of what's going on at Portsmouth. Run out of time, so I won't go into the description, but all the social media links and links to the forum is in the description. And we'll quickly tell you that Club Everton Daily is brought to you by Hand Stores. For more information, visit handstores.co.uk or give Han a ring on 077521 21395. Right, well that's it for today's daily, and we'll see you again tomorrow.